All right, behind some of Nigeria's most striking fashion statements and fast-rising ventures stands a name that is quietly redefining what it means to build a brand with purpose, Dare Aliu. From tailoring excellence with TDA Couture to leading a growing multi-sector powerhouse in TDA Group, his story is one of vision, discipline, and silent impact. Today on GNR, we step into the mind of the man shaping an empire not through noise, but through consistency, creativity, and intent. Welcome to the show, Mr. Dare Aliu. It's so good to have you here. I've been in your store before, and I've seen the amazing things that you do. But my first question would be, how does a boy from Obalende build what you have been able to build in the time that you have? Because sometimes, when you walk through certain areas in Lagos, it doesn't feel like something can come out of that. You see what the economy does to us, even in 2025, but you still have people like you that are thriving. So how does one move from that point to this point?
All right. Thank you so much for having me, Jay.
Of course.
You are doing well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. God. At the bottom of it all is God. There's a place for grace of God. I joke with some of my friends and say, do you know I could have ended up as your driver in another universe? I mean, it's a joke, but that's the truth. Some people that we live together at on Moshalashi Street in Obalende, some of them are obviously drivers, but I happen to be a child of grace. I was brilliant growing up. I mean, I believe I still am. But then all I had was just my brains to go to school and do well. I had a brother, Follow Aliu, God bless him, who decided, because I lost my dad when I was 2, he decided not to give up on his siblings. Sent us to school. I ended up going to school a lot on scholarship, and I worked really hard. That's it really. Just that deciding that, I'm not going to let my environment shape where I'm headed to. Yeah.
And then I know that you ended up also studying engineering.
Yes.
Where did you study engineering?
I studied in Russia.
Okay.
I went to Russia on a bilateral scholarship, federal government and the Russian government. We wrote an exam in Abuja for top percentile students from federal schools, unity schools, King's College. I came up top percentile, so I was chosen for that exam. I wrote the exam, and I was able to get a scholarship to Russia. So if you get very good grades again in your BSc, you get your master's. So I was able to do all that and do my BSc, my master's, and all that in engineering. So my BSc was automation of electric drives. I mean, for the sake of just anyone, it's actually electrical electronics engineering. But I was specific about the course, which was automation of electric drives. So when I was doing my master's, and I even went to go and further do automation of electric drives or frequency control very specific engineering. But I ended up doing high voltage power engineering for my master's. And so it was quite interesting.
You seem like somebody that, I think because of, losing your dad when you were 2, and it almost feels like your brother always reinstated it to you that you cannot be a failure.
Yes.
What was different for you when you were in, let's say, secondary? You went to King's College.
Yes, I went to King's College.
So what was different from you? Because, we had people that are in school and are just whiling away time.
Yes.
Were you different? Did you have friends? Did you play around? Or you just knew, I cannot mess this up because this is the only opportunity that I have?
Oh, yeah. King's College, I had friends. I still maintain those friends till today. I have likes of Aigbe, Moni, Ejire Salami, Raymond Hansen, and all these guys. But what it was I never lost sight of the fact that these people that are my friends, they came from more privileged homes. So whatever happens, they're going to eat 3 square meals. Whatever happens, someone somewhere will pay their school fees. For me, all I had was God and this brain. So I studied extra hard. I had to come first in class consistently, I think there was a time I came second or so, and I was like, all all hell was breaking loose. But I just knew that, look, education for me was going to be my way out, so to say, until I finished high school and I couldn't get American visa, even though I had full scholarships in America. Wow. So that kind of changed my trajectory, because I then realized that education is not everything. Beyond what you know is who you know, your social skills, and how you turn that, how you juxtapose all these things and make it something of it. So education didn't take a backseat, because I still did very well in Russia, but it stopped defining who I was. So people that went to high school with me know me as the Efiko, the brilliant guy. But later in life, that was not who I was anymore. I was the guy that was the social butterfly who was always willing to work, to hustle, to grind. So yeah, high school, I had a life, but I was a lot more about my books.
Your books. Sorry for the breaking transmission. I know you're enjoying this fantastic episode, but I want you to know that G On Air is now taking adverts, now taking sponsorships. So if you're a brand out there, big and small, and you want to partner with the G On Air brand, get involved in these conversations. What you need to do is reach out to us today. Millions of people are getting insights from the conversations we're having on this show. Political, entertainment, business. Why don't you join? What you need to do is send us an email to jonairbusiness@gmail.com. Again, jonairbusiness@gmail.com, and your brand could be side by side some of the biggest names in entertainment, in politics, and of course in business. Join us today. How does that happen? Because when you see people that are smart, you said a lot of automatic, people don't see people like that as people that will be sociable.
Yes.
But for the kind of business that you have, and we're going to get into that, a lot of social skills are required.
Very important.
It's to have customers and all of that. What would you say to people that don't think having social skills are a necessity? That as long as I know my books, as long as I'm talented and I face my work, I'm going to thrive.
So it's gonna be like it's gonna be like I'm talking from two sides of my mouth, because look, every stage I climb that has people that have not finished school, I always make sure I say, stay in school, kids. Stay in school. There is no clearer message than that I can ever give. However, school is not enough. It's just like love. For you to be in a marriage, there has to be love, but love is not enough. You have to have money, you have to have emotional intelligence. So it's like a pot. You have to have other ingredients. Can I just put this down? For school, school would help you learn one thing, which is discipline. It will help you learn how to be accountable, to help you learn timing, punctuality. Those are the things that school will teach you. However, on the street of life, I go back again. The grace of God is important. I believe in destiny. If I was not denied the American visa, I was denied twice, even with full scholarships, I would have still continued on that geeky path, where I would have just probably gone to America, finished being a scientist, being an engineer, and just working 9 to 5. But because I was denied those visas, and people that I felt were not as brilliant as I was, but because their parents were more well-to-do, they got the visas and left. So I'd lost 2 years, but people had gone. That was a changing moment in my life. And it was at that point that I said, you know what? I think I want to be a slightly different person beyond books. All I used to do was read, really. And that was when I started to develop social skills. Starting to cultivate my current network, and then I built on it.
How does one that is just all about books cultivate that? Because one of the things you find people, if you're on social media today, people say you have to put yourself out there. Yes. Visibility is important, networking, socializing. Yeah. But a lot of people innately don't have those skills and think that it is quite difficult. Coming from somebody that was all about his books and just studying and education, how do you make that move to socializing and not feel awkward while trying to, get a number or trying to introduce yourself? How did you make that move?
I'll generalize it. So it won't just be for the Efiko guy. My rule to socializing is show up for people. Love people genuinely. People can smell when you are funny. Say you're my guy, or we're classmates, and you are getting married. I mean, I'll show up for you. If you don't send me an invite, I can send you money. I can just send you a gift. Even if you don't send me an invite, I can send you a gift. People remember. People remember what you do to them, what you say to them. For instance, if my friend loses his mom, I'm just not going to be one of those guys that will just send a message once, oh, my sympathies. I'm the guy that will check up on you tomorrow, in 2 days, in 4 days. That can send a gift to you to console you. That if I know your house, I'll show up. So I believe in showing up. Show up for people's events when they invite you and they're your friends. Be there for them in kind words. Be kind to people. Actually, like, just genuinely show love to people. People that are drawn to positive energy. People are drawn to people that actually show them love. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be cared about. Everyone wants to be, they say Eni Olasho in Yoruba, right? People want those Eni. So naturally, you show up for me three times. I know you are someone I want to be around, or I want to reciprocate that gesture. And that's really how you build. I don't believe in conferences. You go to conferences and shake hands, it ends there, to be honest. I don't believe in business cards. That's not how to network. I believe in genuine relationships, showing up. If I hear tomorrow now Jay on air is having a comedy show, for instance, just because I'm sitting out here with you, I'm the type to sponsor five people to show up to your show. Even if I'm not in the country, if I'm in the country, I'm the type to pull up. Just because you were nice today, I can pull up. That's how you build relationships, really.
Interesting. People in Lagos would watch this on YouTube tomorrow and listen to this on radio and say, wow. Because the idea that a lot of people have about, and this wasn't even where I was going to, but I'm just being intrigued. Because the idea that people have about socializing is that, I want something. We need to climb to the top. And to climb to the top, you just, meet people, have their cards, have their numbers. But you were saying socializing for you is showing genuine kindness and genuine love. Genuine.
So I get people coming to my DMs. Hello, sir, my name is this. I need you to do this. Hello, sir, my rent is expired. Of course, you're not going to get anything from me. Someone I look up to, Pastor Flourish Peters, you know what he said? He said, I'm not sure how he put it, but flattery, you would usually know. So, for instance, if you are walking by the road and someone is saying, chairman, that person doesn't know you. So, most of the time, it's just money. You can stretch them 500 naira. But if you are walking on the road and someone says J, you will turn your head. So, you have to get to know people genuinely. And how do you do that? By showing up, by being nice, by being kind, by being there. Do you know that if you are at an event and someone comes to you and asks you, and someone just comes to you and say, oh, my name is Dari, I would like to get to know you, give me a business card. You probably don't remember that person's name. But the person that comes to you and says, sir, I'm going to take care of you for the rest of the night. What would you like to drink? Do you want more small chops? Do you know you are more likely to remember that person that took care of you? That's how to network, not just badging to someone and saying, I want this, I want to meet you. I usually just look and say, this person doesn't get it.
Yeah, so there's value. Networking is giving value.
Absolutely. You just summarized everything I said.
I could stay on these points, but I have more questions to ask.
Problem.
How does one move from being this ethical person and then you study engineering and somehow you find yourself in the world of fashion?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah. So because I've answered this question a lot, I had to write it in a book. So I wrote a book, Everything Will Be Alright, which I'll send you a copy.
I appreciate that.
So while working as an engineer, right, I had my first child. And obviously I knew that I'll come. The salary is not taking us home anymore. We have to do something.
Here in
I worked at Shoreline Power as head of business development, and then I worked at Honeywell Group as I first started as a project developer, but I became the head of operations for the power company, and we built power plants. So while doing that, I always knew that I needed to do something else to bring in more income, right? However, I didn't know what to do. But everywhere I went, people used to compliment my kaftans. I just used to wear nice, clean, white kaftans, right? And I used to send them to my tailor, which was the normal thing to do, right? My tailor. And then my tailor just couldn't cope with the orders. And I spoke to him, I said, scale up. And he just didn't get it. He just couldn't understand what it meant to scale up. Hire people like him, pay people salary, how he just couldn't see beyond where he was.
Where was at the time.
And then he was spoiling some of my friends' clothes. So I decided, you know what, 1st of January 2018, that's 7 years ago, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get a small store in Lekki Phase 1, half of this room, and get one machine, one sewing machine, one weaving machine. I'm teaching you tailoring now. One interlocking machine. Just get all these things. And I'm going to first repair my friend's clothes. But then started making 1, 2, 3, of course. And I added one more tailor because of the load. Then I decided to activate my unique selling point, which was speed, right? So I can give you your clothes next day, and it caught fire. And that was how we bet TDA Couture. Really, like, I had a name, but that was how we really went into it, and it's become what it is today.
How did you know speed was that thing? Because, when it comes to artisans here in Nigeria and tailoring, we know that speed is not it. But that is one unique selling point. I know that if I have an event, my tailor messes up, I can walk into a TDA store and find something to wear for a wedding or for whatever. How did you know that this was what would make your business thrive?
I will always pivot back to saying God and grace, because then again, you can be the most brilliant person and still not achieve anything. The best business school teachers are usually not businessmen themselves, even with all the knowledge, However, I'm an engineer. The way our brain works is systematic. We want to put 1 + 1 every time. We're not thinking in squares and shapes. We're thinking in numbers. 1 + 1, beta, alpha. So what it was I realized, so doing business should always be you wanting to create value. Creating value should always be wanting to either, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you just make it better. So what was it about tailors that was horrible? It was fact that they never used to deliver on time. They never used to deliver what you asked them to deliver. So when I came into the system, I asked myself, what was it about this guy? So it took me back to high school. So what did they teach us in high school? They say if it takes 2 people to move this thing from here to here, 2 hours. How long would it take if 4 people did it? To take 1 hour, right? So what does that mean? You double the workers, you reduce the time. So that was simple. I started thinking already. I said, you know what? 1, we started by giving people what they asked on time. What they asked, how they asked it, exactly what they asked for. So when that was working, I also realized that on time is not even good time. So if you have an event at 6 p.m. and I give you your outfit at 6 p.m., that's late because you need time to get ready, right? So that means we need to give you your outfit earlier. And in doing that, and I realized, if I'm tired of giving you 5, why don't I give you 3 p.m.? Why don't I give you at 12? Why don't I even give you the same day? And that's how I focused on time, on speed, and now I can dress you up in 20 minutes in my office, actually. I can't wait for the time when I'll be doing wait and get kaftans. I'm telling you, wait and get. So funny. Let me digress a bit. TDA, with all sense of humility, has actually influenced we have influenced the culture a lot. The way tailoring is done right now. Some people might not want to accept it out of pride, but it's the truth. This speed thing, we started it. Now I'm seeing billboards, people saying we can give you your clothes in 24 hours.
I wanted to actually mention
my brother, I am very happy. The more the merrier. Let people be happy to get their clothes faster, but we influence that. The way fashion stores are built these days, where you have retail downstairs, you have bespoke upstairs, you have a fabric room, we influence that. We influence that. And there are many more things that we're going to influence. I have something coming up in November, which I'll talk about on this podcast. We have something coming up in November. We're going to influence that again, So here we are.
All right, we're still live on Journey in conversation with the CEO founder of TDA, Mr. Aliu. I mean, in just 20 minutes of the conversation, people's lives can change because I'm learning so much. And what does TDA in full? What does that mean in full?
If you get it, I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $1 million.
Don't do that too. I know the Aliu, but what is it? The Aliu?
All of a sudden, I'm going J. So you're actually the Aliu group.
Okay.
So I'm just a lazy guy. I could have called it Ultima Fashion. I could have called it J Fashion. I could have called you anything, but I just say, you know what? I like my name on it. Aliu. And that was it, the Aliu Group, because obviously I have an engineering company.
Yeah.
And I knew that we're going to pivot at some point and do other things. So I knew whatever it was, we're going to have branches. So I wanted to maintain a name. From there, we had started TDA Couture, TDA Fabrics. It might sound like they're meant to be the same, but they are absolutely different companies. Yeah. They are totally different companies. TDA Laundry, TDA Fabric, TDA Leather, TDA Cobbler. Sometimes I forget the companies I have.
That you own. How does one that starts a business know that it is time to start another? You know, because, you know, you move from the TDA, the tailoring, you're answering a question, you're trying to...
So I must give it to you. I like your line of questioning. It makes the conversation more wholesome.
Thank you.
I advise people that ask for it, actually. When they say pivot or multiple streams of income, they don't mean today now you are a podcaster, tomorrow you'll be selling cement, and next tomorrow you're selling a way by side of the road. When they say pivot, it's you adding value across a certain value chain. So if you are selling cement today and you want to expand, how about you sell steel rods? I'm not going to sell rice. How about you sell nails? Because one thing you are selling is going to help the growth of the next. So for me, starting TDA Couture, I saw that my clients still had to come and pick up their clothes and go and launder it somewhere else. Why don't I do that in here? From there, I know that they have to go and do accessories. Why don't I do that in here? I noticed that the women come and say, we like your service for our husbands. Why don't we? And that's how we have DFF today. You know, we have Pink Perfection accessories, you know, right below DFF. So everything we do is very intentional. We notice that the men, after we dress them up, they need to go and look for shoes somewhere else. We brought the shoes in. We noticed that the men have to still repair some of their leather products. We started the TDA, what's the name now? Cobbler. So that was why we went to Abuja, because we knew that people were sending fabrics from Abuja. That's how we ended up in Tanzania. That's how we ended up in Ghana. You know, we are going with what our clients are asking for. You know, so yeah, that's how you will know the market and your customers will speak to you. That's how you would know.
I mean, with somebody that has done what you've done since 2018 till now, I wanted to ask another question, but I'm going to change my question to ask you, because of the way you speak and the way your mind works, you need to work with certain kinds of people.
Yes.
How difficult is it to get people that see your vision? How difficult is it to get people, the right tailors, the right people in the leather side of things, the right people to manage DFF, right people to, you know, because again, in Nigeria, staffing and getting the right people is such a problem. People complain about staff stealing from them. People complain about staff not doing the job as they should. How do you maneuver that aspect, especially having your mainstay here in Nigeria?
Yeah. Very good question again. What is really the role of a CEO? People think CEO is just a title for you to use to brag or sit down in the office and be signing check or doing oga. No. The role of a CEO is really, the first role of a CEO is good hiring, is HR. If you cannot have a machinery to move your dream forward, you are going to work for the rest of your life. So first and foremost, you need to hire right. You need to build a culture around the people you have hired. You have to pour of yourself into them. You have to let them know how you think, what you are thinking, where you are planning to take the company to, and then let them work. So the only thing you are coming in to do every day is continually shaping the culture, because the culture will permeate deeper than whatever you say or whatever you write, whatever policy documents you have. So, I have staff that have been with me for 7 years. What I try to do is, as the company is growing, I'm making sure that they are growing. I'm making sure that they know that I care. I pay them on time. One thing that I see people do that turns my stomach is say, I pay their salary 10th of the next month so that if you run, why? I pay my salaries on the 26th of the month. We just started doing last day of the month now for some financial reasons. But it will never move. Even if there is a storm, I will line up in front of my office and pay each of my staff. And I have about 100. I'll pay each of them one by one if I have to. If the banks are down, don't worry. I'll go and look for cash. I'll pay them one by one. That's how serious it is. When someone can bank on your word, they're willing to go the extra mile to deliver value to you as their employer. And then continually check the dynamics, the work dynamics. Because you can hire the best guys, but if they are having to work with idiots, then obviously... Because there is one saying in my office that is pasted very boldly, saying that there is nothing that demoralizes a good staff more than watching you tolerate a bad one. So, being a good HR yourself, making sure that you are pouring of yourself into them, which is the culture bit, making sure that you are paying them right, you are paying them on time, and that they can count on your word. My staff know. I look out for if you go to my staff and shout on my staff and think that I'll support you, I won't. No, I won't.
So it's not a customer is always right in your company?
No, sorry. I don't care who you are.
How do you manage that conflicts when a customer has
So I will listen first. So is my staff wrong? If you are wrong, then that means I am wrong. Whatever it takes. And thank God I'm not selling cars or refinery where one mistake will kill us. It's fabrics, right?
Yes.
If my staff is wrong, we'll pay for it. We'll do a new one for you. It won't kill us. So we try to reduce the amount of my Lean Six Sigma. And that's why it's good to go to school. Yes. We have to reduce waste. It's a wastage reduction mechanism, I just told you. So we try to reduce waste. So if a client comes and we mess up his outfit or anything, no problem. You don't have to fight. I will replace it. But, you can give feedback without being derogatory, without cursing my staff, or without... No matter what it is, I can give you an outfit in 2 hours. So why do you think I can? I will solve it. I'm always ready. I quench fire every day. So no matter how big the fire is, I have the hose for it. However, if the client is wrong, I have ways in communicating to people. I'll just let you know that this person is a human being. If you demoralize them today, you won't meet them here tomorrow. Clients come and go. It's general market. The person that is making clothes with me will make clothes for another person. But staff, have to maintain good staff so that the company can keep running. We can keep talking about this topic for
we definitely can. But I'm intrigued by something. You say you let your staff know that they can come in one way, but there's a tendency for growth.
Yes,
if they
absolutely.
do the hard work. I come in as a tailor.
Yes.
Or do you have a story of someone that came in as a tailor, maybe not as educated, but a good tailor? How does growth work in that instance? Yes.
Okay. I have a tailor who has, I don't know where I'm saying it, he has finished building his house. That's growth for them. This was a guy that came in earning 15,000 naira was what he came earning, 15,000 naira a month. This is a guy that is doing over 500,000 a month now. And been doing this consistently for seven years. That's growth for him. We call him head tailor or whatever. For him, that name does not matter as much as the things he can achieve in his personal life. 2, I would not bring another person, I don't care how experienced you are, to come and be his boss in terms of that. So making him feel like he owns his space, making him know that he's respected in his space, that's career growth for them, that personal growth. You can literally see it on them. They're fresh. They're looking better than they came. Their families, they're feeding their families. They're getting married. That's growth for them. So growth for them is not you saying you're a manager today, you're a senior manager tomorrow. That doesn't matter to them. They don't care for that. So I have tailors that have been with me that I know that in this building, if Mr. Dare travels and buys shirts, He will give me second. I'm number 2 after that guy. I'm number 4 after that guy. Like just that hierarchy, respecting it, not talking down on number 2 in front of number 10, not allowing number 10 to disrespect number 2, ensuring that number 2 is earning much more than number 10, such that number 2 can do more with in life. Of course, if number 2 is not performing,
yeah.
he'll be relegated to 10. But yeah, just making them feel like humans, paying them well, and as the company is growing, make them grow. That's their own form of career growth, actually.
All right, we're still in conversation with the founder of the TDA Group, Mr. Aliu. I know so much has been learned already. People would hear this conversation and just say, this man has everything all put together. This man just understands it. I can never get to this level. Were there certain challenges you faced breaking into the fashion industry as an engineer? Were there certain things that you said, wow, this is harder than I thought it was going to be? This is not more than just saying, I'm going to deliver clothes on time. Were there certain hard doors that you really had to push, with a lot of muscle to break down?
So before now, the fashion industry was full of gatekeepers. People that used to gatekeep information. Brother, where did you get this done? They'll not tell you. They'll dabble around. Very this local mentality of now only me one get time. Why? Now we are so free with information that you know why I speak on podcast. It's for 3 reasons. One, to always give God the glory. I don't mince words about it. God is at the root of everything. 2, for me, obviously, is to help the brand name TDA. Right now, we're speaking about TDA, right? Yes. Someone that's never heard of TDA before will check what TDA is about. Yeah. But thirdly, is to also help someone that is coming from behind. I was helped. I had a helper that came through for me when I wanted to move to the next level, when I wanted to get my first mall. Now I have 3 buildings or so, around Lekki. But when I wanted to get the first major mall, I couldn't really afford the 2-year rent. I had to go and meet a mentor and say, borrow me this money. I promise you I'll pay back so time. I paid him before. Someone had to help, right? So I believe someone else should be able to catch on. And that's part of why I wrote the book. Someone else should be able to catch on to this and say, you know what, I'll do this thing too. And I have had people that, through the grace of God, I have helped today. They've started their own brands, started their own businesses, and these are now big boys and big girls. There were gatekeepers all over the fashion industry. Now we have people like myself, Charles Africana, Fuja, who are speaking out, who are helping people, who would show you where they got stuff from, who would actually even tell you who did their Chinese visa. Before, everyone was full of gatekeepers.
But why are you not worried? Because, an argument there is that, it's almost like you're selling what makes your company. You are selling the information. You are telling them this is where you got the fabric from, or this is who did that. People argue here that, we have a system where people can just steal that information and replicate what you're already doing and take business. Don't you have that mindset? Or you think that's a wrong mindset to have?
It's a very wrong mindset. You can replicate what you hear. Can you replicate grace? Can you replicate the execution? Can you work harder than me? I slept at 4 a.m. this morning. I'm talking to you right now. I'm going to be on a flight tonight. I'm going to be back. I was in China for 3 weeks. I was all over Asia. I came back immediately. I jumped straight to work. I've not had 7 hours straight sleep. Can you replicate that? Even if you steal all the ideas, it's not in the idea, it's the execution that matters. And if you can execute it the way I do, then I want to meet you. I want to collaborate with you. I want to work with you. I'm happy to have 10 of me. And there are people I look up to. See what Vodi has done. How many people have been able to do that? That's fantastic stuff. I don't personally know him. I respect what he's done. I would love for someone like him to teach more people, which I think he's doing. Maya Atafa and I were on a panel recently. He was speaking. I was learning from him. We need to help more people. SMEs are the people that will actually liberate this country. It's not politicians. It's actually SMEs. When they are well invested in, when people are lifted up, that we will be able to liberate this country. So it's just my own way of giving back. You can hear what I'm saying. I bring tailors into my factory and show them how I do things. You cannot deem My light cannot be dimmed. And lighting your candle does not kill my own light. I'm happy to do it. In fact, it makes me very happy.
That's interesting. I mean, you said a lot, but God is at the center of a lot of things that you've said. But another issue that a lot of Nigerians have is that we've seen billionaires, we've seen established business people being called to podcasts like this or being invited to panels. And because you've mentioned God, but you've also said a number of things. Like I said, the first 20 minutes of this conversation, if someone takes it, someone's life can change. You've mentioned God, but you've broken things down. Do you think it's an issue where people that have been established are asked questions and they say, it's the grace of God? God did it. I don't know if you've noticed that. God did it. You know, God is good. Sir, ma, what did you do? I'm not saying give me the numbers, you know, but what certain things, what are certain things I can implement in my life now that would give me certain kinds of results? So people say that we're so religious a country that people that have been established are not able to teach. They just say grace. They just say God.
I will answer you. The quality of your question determines the quality of your answer. When you asked me a certain question the other time, I was like, that's a good question. It makes the conversation wholesome. If you ask someone a question that is balderdash, you will get balderdash answer. So there are questions that are asked to these billionaires that the only thing they will tell you is the grace of God. So you can, so imagine you since we've sat here, you've never asked me, how did you do it? No, you are asking me questions and I'm telling you how I did it without asking me how did you do it. I can know how much is in your account without asking you how much is in your account. I just have to ask the right triggering questions. So people are not asking the right questions. I will not go and meet a Costraris and say, sir, how did you do it? He will say it's the grace of God. And I won't fault him because that's the quality of the question I asked him. But if I asked him, sir, if I set up a car company today and I wanted to sell cars, what would be your advice to me to move numbers? He will get in his element. Do you know what a Costraris will tell you? And I bet you that's what he will say. He will say a bum in seat sells cars. If you sit down in a car, you probably want to buy more than just looking at it on TV. He will now start to give you answers that matter. Of course, if you ask him, how did you do it? He will say it's God. So the quality of your question determines the quality of your answers.
How important is it for TDA to be on fashion shows? I don't know. I don't have those facts. But exactly. But you know, we have the Lagos Fashion Weeks and the GT Days and a lot of fashion weeks.
I don't do
Yeah, I know that you've never, but I wanted to just be sure because it may be that maybe after 20, maybe in 2019 you tried. I said it's not for me. Why have you realized that, you know, that is why in my intro I said silently.
Yes.
Again, if somebody enters your building after my intro, they will say, Jay, that is not correct English. This is not silent at all. But again, there's a silence about what you're doing.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of expansion.
Yes.
So why is it not necessary for you to be on those
Speaking
kinds
of expansion, because we've been known so much for the speed and efficiency, even though we deliver very quality products, look at what I'm wearing. There is no, it doesn't get finer than this, to be very honest. It can get more stylish, more creative, but it doesn't get finer than this. The stitching is perfect. What I'm wearing is good. What I've done recently is I've partnered with two creative directors and we have started a business called Penniel by TDA. We are going to go live November 2nd, somewhere in Lekki Phase 1 also.
Okay.
And it's basically TDA Premium. Basically premium version of TDA.
Okay.
That is my solution to the conversation around quality. So that we are not going to promote speed in that one. The only thing that we are promoting there is creativity and quality. So the quality of what you get to be higher. You might pay slightly higher. You'll meet with creative directors, so you can sit down for your AVMVC. You sit down and you know
create something.
Anyways, coming back to your question, which is remind me, there's a keyword.
The Lagos Fashion Week.
Good.
And
So it's the Fashion Week.
Yeah.
So I've never done Fashion Week because you see, in businesses that you choose to do, you need to choose which area you want to be.
Yeah.
So I am a businessman. I'm really not in the fashion industry. Let's be honest. I don't measure people. I don't cut clothes. I don't design clothes. Yes, I have an idea. I can guide you, but I don't do that. What I do is I hire the right people to do the right things, deliver the right things to the right people. So bring A to work with B to deliver for C. Now, fashion shows for me just don't fall into the category of the things that I think would move the business forward. Fashion shows used to be the opportunities for fashion designers to meet off-takers, to meet sellers, to meet people that would buy their products in bulk. It's no longer that. It's just now a social event where you have influencers and popular people sitting in front taking pictures. So it's a marketing thing now, right? I rather put that energy in building my business. People spend a lot for these fashion shows. Millions. My brother, if I use that money to buy fabric, I go sell. If I use that money to make 10 clothes for J on Air, I'll probably get more traction than the fashion show. Because it's just influencers. Influencers that they are following might not even be organic. I know people that actually listen to them. How many people listen to certain influencers about what they want to wear? I'm not going to want to wear kaftana and go and look, what's that guy wearing? I want to wear what that guy is wearing. But give regular people clothes to wear. It actually has more impact in marketing than fashion shows. So it's really just not, it's never appealed to me. I don't knock it. It's good for the culture. It's good for the industry. It's just not for me. Maybe now that and that's why I quickly spoke about Peniel. Yeah. But now that we are starting Peniel, which is going to be a very interesting thing, and I have creative directors, maybe they now will push for fashion shows. But myself, I'm just a businessman. A businessman that loves fashion, that understands it, and just want to deliver joy. So what I actually sell, what TDA actually sells is joy and convenience. I want you to walk out of my door happy, but I want you to be very convenient for you. So fashion shows really don't just do it for me.
And we have to wrap up this conversation, but because you talked about influencers, has TDA ever worked with influencers, and do you think influencers are necessary for you or for the ecosystem?
You will put me in trouble with this conversation. I really know how to. Don't let me be cancelled.
Cancel TDA?
To be honest, man, I'm my own influencer, brother. I'm my own influencer. I'm not knocking it. They're important. Very, very important. But most influencers, you might need to pay, right? In millions. Yeah. You might need to make free things that run into millions. Like I said, I'm a businessman. If I put that money into my business, it will double. But I've had some influencers that have worn my clothes and have been very gracious and to tag us. Yeah. You know, I have amazing Timini. I have Jimmy Kifewa, Jimmy Akishola. I mean, I have a lot of celebs that actually wear my clothes, but not on that influencer level. There are people that just want their clothes. They got their
like
clothes.
They
wear it.
Yeah.
Simple. Influencers, maybe at some point I'll have enough money to actually have influencers. But for now, man, we can't afford it. Let me put it that way.
You cannot afford it. Okay, to wrap up this conversation, what do you want the legacy for TDA to be? Especially for a young entrepreneur that lives in Mushin, or for a young entrepreneur or tailor that lives in Bagada or lives in Ikorodu or comes from Obalende, and they see what TDA has done, or they hear about TDA today, or the many things that you will do going forward. What do you want to be the takeaway from what TDA is going to do for the rest of the time?
Yeah. I just wanted to know it's possible. It's possible. You know, sometimes I actually sit alone when I am alone. And I'm usually only alone when I am on planes. So I'm on planes a lot. I spend hours just thanking God because could have gone south. Could have really gone south. You know. But here we are. I am doing very well. I'm in a good place mentally. Beautiful family. Affecting the lives of people. Feeding families. It is possible. That guy from Abalende with no dad and his mom didn't even have a job, but here we are without doing anything bad. I've never done any fraud. I've never done anything. I've never taken money from, I've never even taken a bank loan. But here we are. So it is possible for that guy. But are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to look beyond yourself and actually love people? Because for you to do these things we do, you have to love people. I'm willing to love people. Like now, I'm not really working for money anymore. You know, for the money I make, I rather put into the TDA Widow Empowerment Foundation. You know, things like that. So it's beyond me now. But it's possible. That's the message I want anybody that is coming from Mushin or Balini to hear, that it is, you can actually do it. And I've seen people do it. I have countless examples of people that we've come across each other. We have conversation, and 2-3 years down the line, they are popping without dipping hands in anything bad. It's possible.
It's possible. Thank you so much, Mr. Aliu, for coming through.
Much.
I have so many more questions, but we have to wrap this up. Maybe another time when you're off the plane, you have this conversation with us.
Thank you so much.
I mean, this has been G on Air. We have this Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 p.m. right here on 88.5 UFM, and of course on YouTube on G on Air TV. To wrap up with Jay Steak, I would say from this conversation, I hope you take home that it is possible. You can come from anywhere in the world, from Obalende, from Mushin, from Surulere, from Ikorodu, and you can have a global brand. It is possible. I'll catch you on another episode. Make sure you share this, make sure you like this, and make sure you rewatch this, because I feel like there are things that he said that you won't pick up from first watch or first listen. You have to watch and listen again. Bye for now.